Right, quite often when we have a bunch of numbers like this, we want to summarize them in some way, because obviously a group of numbers like this can be a bit confusing. It's not necessarily telling us instantly what we need to know about the overall set of numbers. So quite often we condense them down into the following four numbers: the mean, the mode, the median, and the range. And for each one, we can get a number that tells us something about that group of numbers. Okay, there's a way to calculate each one, and you'll need to remember how to calculate each one, but you've got this nifty wee video now to help you along the way. So what we've got here is we've got class 4D's recent test results. Okay, so we've got a 12, a 9, 7, 8, 12, 10, 14, 7, 12, 11, and 8. So all individual results. And looking at it as it is, you can't necessarily tell what's happened in that class. Okay, you can maybe see some things, maybe you see the highest number, maybe you see the lowest number. But overall, we don't necessarily know how well they've done. But if we had the following four results, the mean, the mode, the median, and the range, then we could get a better idea, okay? So in order to calculate the mean, what we need to do is add all the results. That's what we mean by sum of the results. So add them all together and then divide, okay? That's what the wee line means. The number of the results, in other words, how many results we actually have in the first place. So in this case, basically how many kids sat the test, okay? So first thing we do, add all those numbers together. So literally 12 plus 9 plus 7 plus all the way up to the last number. If you've got repeated numbers, you're still going to add them all. It's every single result in that list. Obviously, all of those numbers added together is 110. Okay, you're going to do some practice on this in a minute and try and not use a calculator. This is good practice for your non-calculator skills. So that's our sum of the results. That's 110. So now what we need to do is divide it by the number of the results. So there are 11 numbers there in total. So we're going to take 110, we're going to divide it by 11, and that's going to give us our mean. 110 divided by 11 is 10. So our mean result is 10. So often when people talk about an average, okay, so if you were in this class 4D and you went home and told your parents, I got a 12, your parents might ask, what was the average result? What they mean is the mean, okay? So what this is telling us is kind of roughly, on average, what people got in that class. So you can look at your result and you can see, all right, did I do better than average or did I do worse than average? So if you got a 12, you've obviously done better than average because the average here is 10. The following results, though, are technically averages as well, and they just tell us slightly different things, and they're used in different circumstances. The mode, for example, is the most common. This is a nice, easy one, okay? So this is the most frequent result of the results that we've got. So what it means is which number basically appears the most in our list. So there's a couple of things there. You can see a couple of 7s. There's a couple of 8s. However, there are 3 different 12s. So that, therefore, is the most frequent. That is our mode, okay? It's as simple as that. We just need to write down which number appears the most in that list, okay? So the median tells us something slightly different, and you'll use a lot more of it later on, okay? The median is the middle number, and this is important, this first part, because this number, this list at the top, is probably just done in alphabetical order of the kids. Either way, it's not a specific order. So we want to order these numbers in the best way possible first. So from smallest to biggest, okay? And we want to include every single number there, even, again, if there are repeats. So we've got the 2 7s, we've got the 2 8s, a 9, 10, 11, there were 3 12s, all the way up to the 14, but we want every single one of those numbers. So just double check that you've got 11 numbers there and make sure that they are all in order. Right, so what we mean by the middle number is the number that's in the middle of this list. So one way of doing this is almost accounting from the sides, okay? So if you get rid of one number on one end, you get rid of another number on the other end, okay? And then you just keep doing this until such a point as you end up in the middle. And what's going to happen? You're either going to end up with a situation like this, where you do just get one number, okay? So the number 10 is our median, is our middle number. Or you might end up with no specific number right in the middle. So what the median would therefore be is the number that's in the middle of the numbers either side. So for example, if we had the median was in here, in between the 10 and the 11, okay, then the median would be 10.5. It doesn't have to be a number that's in the list. It just has to be in the middle of the set of numbers that we have, okay? So notice here, when we were dealing with the median in the first place, we had 5 numbers on one side and we had 5 numbers on the other side. Therefore, the middle number, the one in the middle, must be the number 10, okay? So the final bit that we often look at, range, this is quite an important one, is the highest take away the lowest. It's basically the difference between the worst result and the best result, okay? So here we can see our highest number is 14, and our lowest number is 7. Okay, it doesn't matter that there's two 7s again. Okay, it's still the lowest number there. So the range is just 14 minus 7, which is just 7. Okay, so what that tells us, it's almost the spread of the results. Okay, so how close together the numbers are, or how far apart the numbers are. So the smaller the range, it tells us that the numbers are really actually quite close together. If it's quite a big range, it tells us that the numbers are quite far apart. So in a situation like this, it perhaps tells us something about consistency. Okay, so how close together the class are performing, or how far apart they're performing. Okay.